Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Audrey Russo, and you're listening to Real Talk. The LA peaceful protests continue to go up in flames. Israel's deal with Hamas. Whose deal is it? And how will the Dems win young men back to their party? They have an idea. Well, we're going to discuss this and more with my next guest. For my new listeners, Matt Nagin is a writer and comedian. He has been writing fiction and poetry for almost 30 years. His newest book, sure to be a bestseller, The Book of Outcasts, is his fifth book. And he's here to drop a little knowledge on us. It's my great pleasure to give a Real Talk welcome back to Matt Nagin. Welcome back, Matt.
Audrey, so happy to be here. And I'm glad I'm not a resident of Los Angeles right now, because I'd probably be duct taped in the back of a van, being whipped by a guy in Palestinian garb, going "Viva la Revolucion" or whatever they say it in Arabic. So I'm glad here.
In Arabic.
No,
they'd say Allah Akbar, but go ahead.
Allah Akbar, yeah, exactly. That is the, I think Arabic is the official language now of certain parts
of California.
Everyone there prays to Mecca 5 times apparently before they blow up a school bus or whatever they're doing over there.
Yeah. That's Newsom's work. But anyway, he's exactly. He's a lunatic, and we'll talk about him in a minute. I want to talk about of course, all of them hate Israel, unfortunately, and Israel. Sometimes I wonder if the leadership doesn't hate Israel, because they banged out one of the most absurd hostage deals. First of all, shouldn't Israel stop negotiating with terrorists? I mean, I thought that was something that they never did, and now it's just this is it. This is the way it goes, right? 1,100. They want 1,100. Of their prisoners. How do they have room for this? And for 10 of the hostages, not even releasing all of them.
Yeah, no, I've seen some bad deals on Wall Street, but that is that is a horrible. I don't know who's negotiating this. The cast of Sesame Street? No, this is a Big Bird. It's a ridiculous deal. From what I looked at,
it's Big Bird in the keffiyeh. Okay, so
yeah, it rivals the Treaty of Versailles. Maybe I know that was really what gave rise to Hitler. That was one of the worst in history. But yeah, it's a little surprising that they can't negotiate better, because my people, the Jews, we're usually pretty good at the table. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, no, I don't know. And it's like Hamas remains in power. That's part of it. Who's negotiated this? All right, the evacuation of Israelis from Gaza and buffer zone. So everything's gone. Remind me again, didn't Israel get attacked on October 7th, or was it Hamas? No, it was Hamas that attacked Israel. What kind of insanity is this?
Exactly. Maybe they should send in like a used car salesman at the Nissan dealership.
Do a better job.
Do a better job. He did a good job on me. My new used car or whatever. He was like new. And so these guys know how to hustle. You need a little bit of a hustler in there. So
yeah, we used to call those. It's funny. We used to call them used cars, right? So I mean, what are they now? What they're.
Refurbished?
certified refurbished. It's idiotic, but this is insulting. This is, every Israeli every Jew on this earth, including myself, should be insulted by this. This is not a deal for Israel. Everything seems to have flipped here. So now, I thought Hamas was supposed to be obliterated. How do they stay in power if they're obliterated?
Right. No, that is fair, and definitely, I was surprised by those terms of those deals. Also, I don't know what's going on, but maybe I haven't been following it close enough to say, but maybe it can be renegotiated or something can. Because that is kind of an outrage that that it was so one-sided in that
Yeah, and it's not it's not Israel's side. I'm still not getting that. But here's some more fakakta stuff from the commie Democrats. They think they know how to win. I'm laughing about this because I can't even say it. Win young men back to the party. Let's take first one of the creepiest of guys, Buttigieg, who thinks the left can win back young men by, get this, wait a minute, by backing porn and gay marriage.
Oh, I did see that one. Audrey, wild. I don't know who's sponsoring his campaign, Bang Bus or something.
Oh my gosh, what is this?
It's one of these porn sites. I don't know how I know that, but anyway, it's very strange because I don't know how the Democrats became the party of, porn or whatever. That's part of their political campaign.
Yeah, and gay marriage. That is their.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that? So you. I mean, how out of touch do you? I mean, how many bong hits do you have to have in order to come to that conclusion? Looking at the last election.
Right. Yeah, that is wild. And also, his name is weird too for a gay guy. I'm just saying. Butt, B-U-T-T, and then gang almost sounds like peg. I don't know.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
it's a very strange name when I see that guy come up, and I don't know. I'm not that I have anything against gays. I'm just saying.
No, but the whole thing is, and then you have the Democrats think that they can win young men back at the gym. What, the YMCA? Anyway, what would that conversation look like?
Exactly, because you got these soy boy, tofu eating wussies. Yeah. I don't know if they go. Now they want you to go to the gym, but you're an LL Bean boy. With the mangina. I don't think it's gonna help. Also, how much can a Democrat lift? Like 5 pounds, Audrey? They're weak. They're.
Well,
I don't trust.
Planet Fitness is their place. Where they took away the free weights there because it was some of them found they. What was it? They were triggered by it.
Oh, they were triggered. They
had pizza night there. Woo woo.
Free weights could lead to free speech. God forbid any of the weights have any civil liberties. Oh my God. But also, I think the strange thing about this gym thing. Now they're saying they're getting into health, right? Where were you in 2020 when the pandemic was going on? I was going to the gym. I'm eating healthy. They said that doesn't matter. I got to get 12 vaccines. I gotta hide out in a rock, and wait for Daddy Pfizer to come save me. Now, you know what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden they say, "Oh, go to the gym. Go to the gym." Yeah, I've been doing that all along. I don't know about you.
They blocked you. I mean, they blocked everyone from going to the gym. Exactly. All our lives, we know, get out in the fresh air, in the sunlight, right? Because that is actually healthy for you. Then all of a sudden, don't go out. It's going to get you. I mean, come on, grow up. They were, don't you remember? They think we forgot. They were like arresting people that were going out on the beach.
Right.
I mean,
right, exactly.
Because they're going to infect. Who are you going to infect? I mean, really, do you have any idea what's flying around the air? But
exactly.
And if God wanted us to be born with masks on, we would be. But we're supposed to blow this stuff out into the air. That's how it gets destroyed.
They arrested a guy who was surfing, Audrey. The guy out there, during the height of it. What is he going to do? Infect a shark? I mean, come on. He's out there. He passed the waves. They're like, "Oh, you can't do that, sir." That was a crazy thing. And then the other thing is they have this whole thing about fat shaming. Oh, don't fat shame us.
You should be ashamed if you're fat, okay? Yeah. I don't care what he says.
But now they're going on the other side. They're saying go to the gym. So which is it? You got to pick a side, Democrats. Are you on the side of the fatties or are you the side of the gym?
Well, but that's the whole thing. Fat shaming. Well, you should be. It's not healthy to be that way. What, all of a sudden, decades upon decades, well, actually, it goes further than that you shouldn't be overweight because it's associated with too many diseases. And so no, don't tell me I'm too fat. Well, like these women that I'm like, really? I would be ashamed of doing these videos where they're on a plane and they're like kind of the rolls that they brought on with themselves are over the seats next to them and they're angry that people are annoyed by it. Really? I'm afraid to
Yeah,
get on that plane with you on there. I'm afraid it might be
exactly.
lopsided.
You burn a hole in the fuselage, and also you're with your. I mean, you got to get an extra baggage fee when you're carrying all those extra rolls on you. I mean, serious lady, stick it in the overhead compartment, please. I mean, you know what I mean? I think the last time I was on a plane, I was sitting next to the female version of Jabba the Hutt. It was ridiculous, Audrey.
Well, I got news
You
for you.
know?
The last time I was on a plane, Jabba the Hutt was the woman that was going sideways. That she was a flight attendant that was going sideways down the aisle in order to give people a soda. I guess, of course, a
Oh my
diet
God.
soda. She's not
Oh.
familiar with that personally, but anyway. So
What is this strange, this strange thing you talk of? This Diet Coke. I don't think they've heard of it. Yeah,
you know what?
but
It's hard for everyone to lose
sure,
weight. It's hard,
it is.
but make an effort because I have never seen, honestly, I've never seen so many young people. I mean, we're talking about teenagers, 20s, 30s, that are so incredibly morbidly obese. I'm surprised they're not diabetic. They probably are. That, you know how many diseases that's connected with? I mean, come on. Your metabolism is faster than it's ever going to be in your life, okay? As you get over that,
Exactly.
ain't going to happen, okay?
Exactly.
So I mean, stop it already.
Yeah.
So that's
They're
those.
on a
Yeah.
they're on a runaway fat train. You know what I mean? And I got no. I'm not trying to fat shame people because I agree with you. You know, everyone has their different body
Yeah,
composition, and some
but
people have. You know, it's hard to lose for everybody. But I mean, you got to make an effort. That's all I'm
make
saying.
an
And
effort.
sometimes when I go on a date with some of these women, and no, I got nothing against them. I find big can be beautiful. But I went out with a woman that was 300 pounds, Audrey, and I'm just gonna say, you know, I took her fine dining, and I almost had to file for bankruptcy. I mean, two appetizers, a pasta course, a main course, and three desserts. Come on, and not one of them was a fruit plate. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous, Audrey. You know, like it got to the point
Yeah, it
where
was
I
a
was like,
fruit plate with they slid a cheesecake under the fruit plate.
exactly. No
Okay.
fruit plate. And then I had to tell her, look, if we go out again, we got to go to the Golden Corral buffet. You know what I mean? 'Cause I'm going to be homeless otherwise. I like you, but, you know, you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
And I'm not, and again, if you are overweight, I don't have anything against you.
I
It's
have
fine.
compassion if
Yeah,
that
compassion.
takes you a while to do it, but make a freaking effort because, especially if you're young, and I've seen young parents, don't you care about your kids? If you care about your kids, then stay healthy because you have to take
Right.
care of them or somebody
Right.
else will when you're gone. So, but the Democrats, of course, they don't like us talking about any of that. And so, but one thing they find that was necessary to do in Manhattan was, besides a 12-foot bronze statue of a black woman, which really looks like, I gotta say, it looks just like Letitia, or they say Lucretia James. In I don't get, but they also had an exhibition of random black people, large bronze statues of them in an exhibition in New York. Why? I'm trying to
Right.
understand that. Why?
Exactly. Why? And I mean, what's next year? You're gonna have maybe put aliens in there, and you have green statues, green lives matter, or maybe this. You know what I'd like to see there, though, for real, Audrey, is if Justin Trudeau was part of the exhibit in blackface. What do you think? He's woke. He's trying. You know.
Oh yeah, those things those things don't seem to matter. It's only if you or I do it that it matters.
Right.
Right. So,
Right.
but he could do that, and that's fine. There's
Yeah.
been others that have done that as well. So
But yeah, and the thing is with that also, you know, I guess what does it say about our culture, really, Audrey? Is that, you know, being white is uncool now.
Yeah.
That's very 1987. That's like skid pants and Garbage Patch Kids. Everyone wants to be black. I'm telling you, it's getting to the point, Audrey, where I'm spending more time in the sun. You know what I mean? I want to.
oh, what is this? A bone quee?
Yeah. I want my rights. I want to be burn myself black. You know what I'm talking about, anyway.
But I think there was a book years and years ago called Black Like Me, where somebody actually did that. They stayed in a room or something with a black light and turned themselves their skin hue
Oh,
black.
wow.
But I
Wow.
guess they can get away with it because they were probably Democrat. Anyway, but the thing is, yeah, it's just it's ridiculous, and white people are actually the minority in the world. But we also happen to be the target now because everything we do is evil. We're forever racist. Nothing we can do that is not racist. And talking about insanity, what do we have, a separation or a full divorce with Trump and Elon? Because
Oh, you're
Elon, I have
right.
to be honest, has been pretty numbnuts. He's been immature, saying, if you don't like something, make it private with the
Right.
president. Have an issue, talk to him. But no, you go and lie and say stupid crap out there about him, as if Trump went to, can you imagine this, that Trump would have gone to Epstein Island and we wouldn't know about it by now?
True, true. That's a good point. That's a very valid point because anything they can get on him, they have, and they did what 4 or 5 investigations plus the 2 impeachments. So yeah, that's a great point. But you know what I think Trump should do? He should put one of Elon's Neuralink chips into Elon's brain, and then he can control him a little better. You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess Elon, he's got a burn it down approach. I don't know what you think, Audrey. Because I
Burn
guess
it
he figures
down.
if the Dems are already burning his Teslas, why not put a little more kerosene on the fire and burn everything down?
you
I don't
know
know. That seems to be his
it,
MO. If you know.
yeah, it's kind of sad because President Trump, all he did when he talked about him after Elon started this his rants, he was just complimenting him on all the work that he's done.
Mhm.
So I'm like, you really want to burn this bridge
Right.
because it's
Right.
just it couldn't be dumber.
Hmm.
It doesn't.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see them working together again.
Yeah.
Maybe we get Putin to negotiate a peace
No, I
deal or
think he's
something.
busy trying to get rid of Ukraine, and it ain't our business. Okay, they already
Yeah.
they already took enough of our money. We really don't, we don't want to
Right.
bother with this.
Right.
So they're burning. I mean, they're burning LA to the ground. It's like the second summer of love, right?
Right.
Repeat. Well, look. Back then, they tried. Of course, it's ridiculous. It was what they were doing it for, But what are they doing it for here now?
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly. And they already have the fire problem, so it burns itself. What do you need to get involved for? Just wait till the next year and it'll burn itself. And you just stand out there with a sign. You save yourself a lot of trouble.
but the
But yeah,
Democrats are. I mean, Newsom, gruesome, although he's. President Trump has other names for him, but Newsom there, he's suing. He's suing President Trump. He says that he's the one that has provoked all this chaos because he's enforcing the law. Now, somebody make that make sense.
right. And I saw that sending in troops is something that other presidents have done.
Yes.
George Bush did that as well,
Yes.
sending troops to California.
Yeah.
So it's not unprecedented. It's
No.
not a
No.
crazy thing at all.
Well, he
It's
has
totally
to.
within.
They're
Yeah.
not doing anything. I mean, even put the LAPD, the chief of police there. He's another Marxist who won't assist ICE. Then you have that there. I mean, because it gets worse actually, because as if the Democrats don't do enough bad things, the California Democrats are doubling down on their efforts to shield illegals because last week they passed a series of bills that critics argue would basically handcuff federal immigration agents operating in the state. This is a dangerous tactic for all Americans because remember something. There's no such thing as, besides it being illegal and it's unlawful, a sanctuary state. They don't have a wall around their state. So those that they try to give a safe harbor to go to other states, as we've seen with some of these young women that have been murdered. Because you had the one from Georgia, Athens, Georgia. He went up to New York. New York released him. He came down to Georgia and murdered that girl. You have. I mean, that's just one of many. So you can't. A sanctuary state, which is a lie. that hurts. That is dangerous to every single state because the person can go murder someone and then jump back into California where they'll protect them. We can't have that.
Exactly. And also, as you were saying that, I was like, wow, I was supposed to have a gig a couple of weeks ago in Athens, Georgia. I'm glad I didn't go. I might have gotten a knife in the back of my back throat. I'd be in a hostage situation right now. You'd be, save the Jew, Audrey, and then I have to come live tied up by some illegal holding me down and pinning me and forcing me to do crazy stuff. Yeah, we can't have, I think you got to have border security. It's something that both Democrats and Republicans, at least traditionally, did support. Now it's changed, I guess, over time, but it's just reasonable. Every other country has it. Israel certainly has it.
Yeah.
So you need to have law enforcement, and you have to have. It always surprises me, but the state of the public that they could be on the side of the lawless rather than the police.
Well, and we're talking about terrorist organizations. They are terrorists like Tren de Aragua, TDA, and MS-13, okay?
Right.
And these are cartels. They are, and according to our government, they are what? They're terrorist organizations. So you have lawmakers and a governor and a mayor that are defending those criminals, terrorists. Again, they're defending them instead of the American people. How can this stand?
Exactly. Plus, the MS-13, they're bringing in fentanyl and whatnot, and a lot of people are dying. I've seen different numbers, but so that's a serious problem that needs to be addressed. And our American citizens are dying, and a lot of it is from these influx of drugs from the southern border. Yes, some from China and other places, but
China's the one that brings in all the ingredients, and then the cartels make it over the border, and then actually, according to Victor Avila, who used to he was a special agent for ICE special agent. He said that we have enough fentanyl now in this country to kill every single person here. And I don't know if you remember this. There was a report in the New York Post a couple of years ago, I think it was. There was a toddler that was in daycare in the Bronx, and somebody in a small apartment that they were renting in this daycare place in the building upstairs was making pills, fentanyl, and it got airborne, and the toddler died. Just from breathing it in. That is how dangerous it is. They're cutting it into other drugs. They're candy coating them for little kids, so they're attracted to it. So this stuff is, it doesn't seem to me that Democrats even care one lick about America. Nothing. Just about power. They don't care. That's a Marxist. They don't care about the people. They don't care about our opinion. They don't want to represent anyone here. They just want to be in control.
Right.
I don't
That's
think
that's a great point. And also that candy coating. Wow, that seems so. Yeah, because these kids are taking Tide Pods, and that looks like candy. So I think the kids are. That is kind of shocking and crazy that they're making the fentanyl candy coated.
Yeah.
And pretty soon Skittles will be selling it or something. No,
well, they try to make it look like that. So, I'm saying that they try to make it look like that, which is so sick. And I'm thinking, well, look how easily they can die. Yeah, they could very easily die, and they do. It's been over 100,000 a year, but they don't seem to care. And if Americans don't see what is going on out in LA and watch the Democrats protecting these people, then if you have voted Democrat in the past, I think that it's time for you to leave. It's like they have walk away. Well, get out, because this is what the Democrat Party is. This is not the party of JFK. This is the party of Marxists, and they don't give a rat's rump about.
Right,
I'll say
and
it
it's
that way.
the party of Hamas.
Yeah,
and flamethrowers and
yeah.
I don't know, rocket launchers or whatever they're using over there. And that kind of chaos. And I mean, I have a girlfriend who left LA recently because it's gotten too crazy over
Yeah.
there,
Oh
and she moved
gosh.
back to New York and couldn't
Well,
couldn't hack it there anymore.
that's 2.0. Okay. New York's 2.0 because I've seen what's happened in Times Square with the marches of Hamas. And if you
Right.
happen to be Jewish, and like I come from a Jewish background, you can't. You're not safe there.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
And
then
and, and, and and think about someone like me. I live in Alabama now. For the first time in history, a Jew feels more welcome in Alabama than at Columbia University.
that's
You
right.
know what I
Oh
mean?
gosh. It's so insane. Columbia, Harvard, they're well from what I understand, because I've just been learning about Harvard started out as a Christian university, and it is, of course, has not been for years. It has been. Well, they call it Moscow 2.0. It's where and that's why so many that go in there come out as Marxists. I mean, look, you had teachers, you had the president there, you had they were all over the campus. What were they? They weren't.
Right.
They weren't here. They were. How could you stand with Hamas? How could anybody stand with Hamas? And
Yeah,
yet they were proud of it too.
it's outrageous that that would happen at a major institution. And I don't know, it's a crazy world that we live in. It's upside down world. And hopefully sanity will be restored and less indoctrination. When I was in college, there was a lot of that indoctrination, and
Yeah.
it skewed people's minds and whitewashed it. And hopefully people come back to sense, to reasonable policies. And whether you like all of Israel's actions or not,
Doesn't
they
matter.
are a
Yeah.
longtime ally of the United States,
Absolutely.
and the only democracy-free country in that Middle East area. So you got to decide where you stand. But
It will
you
not
know,
bode well for the United, and most Americans do support Israel, but it won't bode well for our country if we do not stand with Israel. They are the West in the Middle East. They're they're the spear. And they are the ones that are in the vanguard of fighting terrorism. So if we cannot abandon them, and I don't believe President Trump would do that, but there are a lot of nut jobs in our government that would do that if they could. But hopefully they won't take the reign of power anymore. So hopefully.
hopefully not. Hopefully this will awaken people. Some of the stuff that's going on, like with these LA chaos and riots, and people
They got to
will.
squash it. He's got to squash it. He's
Sure.
got to call for martial law, and he's got to stop it fast. The longer it lingers, the more power you give them, because we can't let he can't let happen what happened before. I know what President Trump was doing. He was trying to say, hey, this is what happens when you vote for this. Okay, fine, but you're the president of the United States. You can't do that. Now you have to tell them, they're not going to protect the people. You have to do that. You do it with the military, crack down on this, eliminate it, stop it. They have to start something here, because you cannot allow this. It was the whole thing last time was George Floyd in the Summer of Love. What is this? Hamas? You standing up for Hamas? Okay. So this can't, and illegals, basically it's not illegals out there. What there are is leftists, Marxists, communists that are waving the Mexican flag. Yeah, well, go ahead. Mexico's right over there. Go.
Right. Also, some of them are paid actors, and there's plenty of
Yes.
those
Yeah.
in Los Angeles.
There's plenty of those in Congress, but anyway.
Yeah, but in Congress, but especially in LA, where the whole industry is down right now and hurting. So these actors need work. All right, I'll go to a protest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I never thought of that. That's a good point. Matt, where can listeners follow and support your brilliant work, see you live, book you, and purchase all your books, including the book of Outcast? Where can they do all that?
Thank you, Audrey. So this weekend, Saturday, I'm at the Impact Book Festival doing a lecture on humor writing and a book signing at the Fultondale Event Center. That's Saturday, June 15th. Okay, and then June 17th, 18th, 19th, I'm at the Tropicana Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey, Firewater Saloon. June 20th, I'm at Resorts Hotel this screening room. It's called at 7 at 9. Anyway, check my calendar, mattnagin.com. I got a lot of other shows coming up in New York because I'll be in New York for a lot of the summer. And thanks for having me on again, Audrey.
Oh, my pleasure. And as always, I'll have those links to my after show, which is now on the live show page. Just go to audreyrusso.com, click on the honor button, and right under the show description, you'll find all the info that you need, on all the links you need to follow Matt's work. Thanks so much, Matt, for sharing your brilliant and fun assessments with us. Will you join us again on the show? Yes?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Until then, may God bless you, your work, and may God save America. Bye for now.